In this video, I'm going to talk to you on the topic the need to adapt. I like to compare long-term investing with car rallies. You've all heard of these rallies of cars through Africa, through the deserts. These rallies are very, very interesting, especially for those who follow them over months. Because there are some parts of a car rally where you are supposed to go slow. There are some parts where you are supposed to drive fast. In the parts where you're supposed to drive slowly, it's more difficult to drive slowly. And in the parts where you have to drive fast, it's a huge challenge to actually make that speed. So, pacing is always counterproductive if you do it wrong. Now you can get the parallel with investing. There are times when you should slow down, but it's very difficult to slow down because everyone is going fast around you. The pace of the market is very high. And there are times when you need to go fast. The terrain is adverse, the market is adverse. Everyone is not even moving, and you have to move very fast. This calls for a lot of mental grit because you have to control yourself when it is easy, and you need to let go of yourself when it is difficult. See, in both situations, it's about how you bring yourself to the right speed. And what is the right speed? The right speed is the most difficult speed to make the journey. When I used to closely watch these rallies and read about them in the newspapers, because that was our window to the world, the Kenyans were very good at it. There would be some Indian born Kenyans who were good at rallying and all these things. So it used to be very fascinating to read how these guys were making it, what kind of machines they were running, what kind of terrain, and all this would be in text. Those were not the times of visuals. So I have very graphic memory of how the rallies won rallies and how they lost it and how the winners got completely distinguished from the losers and how they were unique in their driving skills. Cut to investment management and portfolio management, and you will realize that this skill is essentially what differentiates a few managers. And this skill has to be built, maintained, and grown. And the irony is, when you have reasonable control over that skill and you are able to practice it well, and probably even when the world sees your practice as the closest you can say to reasonable mastery, you will still be performing modestly. I know a lot of people equate performance with effort or caliber, but that's not true, because somebody has really raised his craft to such a level and he is really giving all the effort. It may not immediately translate into performance. Your performance may look ordinary. In investing, experience and craft can many times lose to the market froth and the mood of the market. We are heading into a time where if you are bringing your best craft into play also, you may be looking very ordinary in the market because the market is running on borrowed wheels. It's running on somebody else's fuel. And you are not running with that market. You're running your own strategy. But still you need to adapt your investing to what kind of driving you want for your portfolio in the long run, which is why I gave the rallying analogy, because you are running it separately, differently, distinctly, and decisively. This is a time for investors who are more serious and professional to adapt, because I don't think there is a benefit of running with the market on borrowed wheels, on somebody else's fuel. What is this phrase I have used twice? Somebody else's fuel. See, asset gathering as a business has a tendency to collect money in the wrong places, in huge quantities, at the wrong time. That's the nature of the asset gathering business. If you look today, that is happening in the micro cap and in the SME universe, and by extension, it will spill into the small cap space, because an SME is a micro cap which, when it shows too much of valuation growth, becomes a small cap, and whenever companies make these transitions fast, more money chases them, more capital gets invested into these ideas than they are able to absorb. That in turn further creates more froth, and more money chases such froth, and so on and so forth. It's a battle which you should not fight, it's a race which you should not run, but it's that race which the industry which gathers assets always is happy to run. It's happening now also. This is a huge headache for regulation, because this is a market need. The market wants to do it, and how much can a regulator say, don't do this, it's bad for you? And it's a peculiar conundrum, because if something goes wrong, the market will blame the regulator. And when things go right for investors, as long as it goes right for the investor will keep on doing whatever they have done without worrying about the risk. So there's nobody to think about the risk in this situation, actually. And flows are going further and further into the wrong places, at the wrong pace, into the wrong decisions. And even after knowing the decision is wrong, the flows are so strong that you can sustain that mistake by putting more money into the same ideas and holding the valuations. This is that phase. In this phase, I don't think you should race with these people, and that is why I used that phrase twice. Effectively, spectatorship is a good choice, and very selective bidding of investments is a secondary choice. So most of the time you should watch, very selectively you need to buy, and you should give yourself a long runway to scale up. You should move away from this zone where all this froth and action is happening, which is like telling you, you've gone to a huge party in a big swag property, everybody is around the dance floor and the DJ is hitting music and all sorts of things are happening, and I am telling you that go and stay away from that noise, sit in a corner and quietly enjoy a moment, maybe with food or drink or friends, whatever. That's how you should celebrate this moment in the market. If necessary, take something from this partying spot and go to the quiet spot. In investing parlance, take some money from where everybody is partying, go into another quiet place, sit quietly and enjoy being there and wait for the next party whenever it happens. This is what I meant as the need to adapt. This is a good time to do it, and this somewhat is a time for those who are willing to do this, which is go out of a party when it is going to be the peak moment. We don't know when that is actual peak moment, and stay away. That's not an easy choice for most of us, right? But that's what you need to do. So you need to actually drive at a pace much slower than the market is driving. Your investment rally should be at a very, very moderate pace. Yeah, you are on an expressway where you can go fast, but you should choose not to. And after this expressway, you're going to hit rough terrain when you need to be able to drive faster. So conserve your fuel, keep your vehicle in good shape, and remember, if you are a manager, it's not your money. If you are an investor, it will not be your money if you don't act right now. Thank you for watching this video.